Hope is an incredible factor in life. Someone said we can live about 40 days without food, about 3 days without water, about 3 minutes without air, but not one moment without hope. Hi, I'm John Kurt, the pastor at Alpha Assembly in Clarion, Pennsylvania, located on 499 Grand Avenue Extension, right down about a mile from the campus of Clarion University. Glad to be there, and each day I'm going to be sharing with you this little devotional. I'm calling it Heart to Heart, from my heart to your heart. And I hope it'll be a blessing to you as we share a thought for each day. And today I'm talking about hope. Dostoevsky wrote, "Totally without hope, one cannot live." To live without hope, he said, is to cease to live. Hell is hopelessness. When Dante wrote the Inferno, a vision of hell, he wrote that he saw above the entrance the inscription, "Leave behind all hope, you who enter here." Now, hope simply means the belief that something good lies ahead. And we're talking about the disciples, especially this week at this time of the year, Easter season, and how they had to deal with the fact that 3 years they were anticipating Christ to set up his kingdom, and they were going to be a part of it, and all of a sudden he's crucified. They had followed him, and all that time they were thinking that something good was ahead because the master was the Messiah and was going to restore the kingdom, and they were in on the ground floor. But as we look in on Jesus' disciples in John's Gospel, chapter 14, we see that the disciples were troubled and that hope was dying in their hearts. The opening words of this chapter are a dead giveaway. Jesus says, "Let not your hearts be troubled." He wouldn't have been saying that if their hope wasn't slipping away. Well, why were they losing hope? Well, in the previous chapter 13 of John's Gospel, Jesus predicted that one of them would betray him. He's talking there about leaving them and dying. And he also told them that Peter, their leader, would fail him and deny him 3 times. And so they were confused and bewildered and felt hope was just draining out of them. Well, what does Jesus do? He doesn't just try to encourage them with optimistic cliches. That's what we do a lot. Things will get better. Just cheer up. Things could be worse. Or keep looking up. We say that a lot, but Jesus didn't do that. Instead, he gives them 5 of the greatest promises that would transform their lives and fill them with hope every day. And these promises would give them an unshakable hope, regardless of the circumstances, an unending hope, an unworldly hope, and an unwavering hope. And for them at that point, all of those promises were future, but within a short time, they would begin to see those rays of hope shining in their lives. And so Jesus gave them 5 promises, and here they are. First of all, he said, "I am going to prepare a place for you." He's talking about heaven, that where I am, there you might be also. The second promise was, he said, I have a plan for you, and my plan is to come again for you. Jesus Christ is coming again. As surely as he came the first time, he's coming a second time. The Bible predicts it. The third promise he gives them is that I will give you the privilege of prayer, that we can come and bring our needs and our desires to him before his throne of grace. Because he's omnipotent, he can help us. All power in heaven and earth, he said, is given unto me. The fourth promise he gives them is, I will give you the power of the Holy Spirit. And that gives us hope to overcome our inadequate weaknesses and overcome the enemy of our souls and overcome the ignorance and blindness to the truth. And finally, the last promise he gives them is, I will bless you with my peace. This gives us hope to overcome the false fears within us and the real fears around us. And notice Jesus said, "My peace I give you." And his peace is anchored in his omniscience, the fact that he knows everything, nothing takes him by surprise, and it's anchored in his omnipotence. There is nothing that he cannot handle. And so when you have these promises for both the present and the future, you can't help but live in hope. These promises filled those early disciples with incredible hope and helped them to think right, to talk bright, and to walk light. And it can do the same for you if you just claim them and realize that they're there for you, that Jesus gave them to the disciples back then, and here they're promises for us today as well. Well, God bless you. Thanks for joining me for Heart to Heart today. Once again, my name's John Kurt, the pastor at Alpha Assembly, and I hope that you'll come by and perhaps join us sometime for a Sunday morning service at 10:30 a.m. And we'd be glad to have you. We welcome each and every one of you. So God bless you today. I pray that you will live it with hope. God bless.